If you've ever thought ghosts are just made up nonsense, this story is gonna make you second guess everything you believe. I'm about to tell you a true story from one of my longtime subscribers, and it completely destroyed his entire worldview. Let's call him DianDian. Before this happened, this guy was the biggest, most stubborn skeptic you will ever meet. I'm not talking I don't believe in ghosts kind of skeptic. I'm talking I will argue with a motion sensor for 10 minutes kind of skeptic. Door slams shut? He'd pull out a whole lecture about air pressure. Weird footsteps? Definitely the neighbor's cat. Shadow moves? Low blood sugar, lack of sleep, dehydration, you name it. This man was a walking, breathing science explains everything machine. He'd make fun of people who believed in spirits. He'd laugh at horror stories. He thought anyone who claimed to see a ghost was either crazy, attention-seeking, or just dreaming. That all changed in the summer of 2020. He and a few of his buddies decided they were sick of the city. Sick of traffic, sick of work, sick of people. So they booked the super secluded, aesthetic mountain Airbnb. You know the ones, floor-to-ceiling windows, wooden deck, unreal views, straight out of an Instagram influencer's feed. It looked perfect. Too perfect. The host was this super nice, middle-aged guy, super welcoming, brought them snacks, showed them around. For a second, they were all like, damn, maybe the world isn't as terrible as we think. They spent the entire day hiking, taking hundreds of photos, arguing over who looked the best in the group pics, being totally normal, dumb, happy friends. That night, they sat outside, drinking, roasting little snacks, talking about life like they were philosophers with Wi-Fi. The air was cool, the stars were bright, the mountains were dead quiet. Everything felt calm. Everything felt safe. Looking back? It was way too calm. Around 3 a.m., DianDian just woke up. No reason. No noise. No bad dream. You ever have that feeling? Like your brain just taps you and goes, bro, wake up. Something is wrong. The room was pitch black, only moonlight coming through those huge windows. He's laying there, half asleep, and then he hears it. A soft, broken, exhausted whimper. Not wind. Not pipes. Not an animal. It sounded like a woman crying. Quiet, weak, like she'd been crying for hours and had almost no voice left. He froze. Told himself it was just his imagination. Tried to roll over and ignore it. But the crying got louder. Closer. Like she was standing right outside his window. His blood turned ice cold. Slowly, he turned his head toward the window. And there she was. A white figure, standing in the dark. Long dark hair, face completely covered, completely still. Like someone hit pause on a nightmare. He tried to move. Couldn't. Whole body locked. Sleep paralysis. Heart pounding so loud it echoed in his ears. Tried to scream. Nothing came out. Then, buzz. His phone lit up with a random text. Just like that, the paralysis broke. He shot up, looked out the window. She was gone. No footsteps. No rustling. No movement. Just vanished. He didn't sleep for the rest of the night. Sat there with the lights on, blanket over his shoulders, white as a sheet, like a scared owl waiting for the sun. Next morning, he looked like he aged 10 years overnight. Eyes bloodshot, exhausted, terrified. He told his friends everything. And they roasted him. Bro, you were dreaming. Bro, that was just the wind. Quit watching scary TikTok before you sleep, bro. He swore it was real. They called him tripping. They thought he was just tired, or overreacting. Then they went to check out. The host overheard them talking about the night. And he just casually said, "Oh, y'all stayed in that room?" Everyone went dead silent. Host said, A young girl died in that room about 10 years ago. Ever since then, guests sometimes hear crying. Or see things. DianDian's soul left his body. They grabbed their stuff, ran to the car, and peeled out like the place was about to blow up. He thought that was it. He thought he'd leave it behind, go home, and never think about it again. Nah. It was only the beginning. The nightmares started that same night. And they didn't stop. Every single night, same dream. The girl from the window. Hair damp, eyes empty, full of anger and sadness. Her lips move like she's trying to talk. But her voice is muffled, like she's underwater. Sometimes she reaches for him. Sometimes she points behind him. Sometimes she just stares. He'd wake up soaked in sweat. Couldn't fall back to sleep. Couldn't focus. At work, he zoned out like a glitching NPC. Forgot meetings, forgot conversations, jumped at every little noise. Friends told him to go to therapy. He went. Doctors gave him sleeping pills. Nothing worked. Deep down, he already knew. This wasn't anxiety. This wasn't stress. This wasn't in his head. One night, it got way worse. He jolts awake. Tries to turn on the light. The switch does nothing. Dead. Then he hears footsteps outside his bedroom door. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. Footsteps that say, "I know exactly where you are." The doorknob turns. The door creaks open. And she walks in. The same girl from the Airbnb. Pale skin, empty eyes, smile so fake it's disturbing, like a broken mannequin. She walks slowly to his bed, savoring every step. Reaches out. Cold fingers brush his cheek. Then both hands wrap around his neck. He can't breathe. Vision blurs. He's literally thinking, "Alright. I guess this is how I die." Then, beep beep beep. His alarm goes off. He snaps awake. Room is normal. Lights work. Everything is fine. Except two bright red handprints around his neck. That's when he broke. He knew he couldn't fight this alone. He needed real help. Not therapy. Not pills. He found a local spiritual guide, someone who understood this kind of thing. The guide listened to the whole story. Looked at him, and said, "She's not trying to hurt you. She's begging for help." That's when DianDian decided to do something crazy. He decided to listen. He decided to talk back. He went back to the mountain, talked to the host, tracked down old records, found classmates, distant relatives, and pieced together who she was. Her name was Lin Xiao. 22 years old. Art student. Sweet, creative, loved her family more than anything. And she died from a broken heart. The boy she loved and her best friend betrayed her, on her birthday. She couldn't handle the pain. She ended her own life in that Airbnb room. DianDian's heart shattered. That night, he sat alone in his room, and spoke out loud. Softly. Calmly. Not scared anymore. "I believe you. What do you need? What are you trying to tell me?" At first, nothing changed. But slowly, the dreams became clearer. She showed him her sketchbook. An unfinished painting, sunrise over the mountains. She'd promised her little sister, who was studying abroad, that she'd finish it and give it to her at graduation. She showed him texts to her parents. She felt like she disappointed them. She wanted to say, "I'm sorry. I was weak. I didn't mean to hurt you." Her parents had blamed themselves every single day for 10 years. They thought they didn't love her enough. Didn't notice her pain. That was her biggest regret. Leaving them stuck in guilt. DianDian realized. She wasn't a ghost haunting people. She was a kid stuck in pain, with two unfinished wishes. 1. Finish the sunrise painting for her little sister. 2. Apologize to her parents, so they could finally stop blaming themselves. So DianDian did the bravest thing he'd ever done. He found her family, called them, and told them everything. The crying on the phone was unbearable. They'd been suffering in silence for a decade. A few days later, they all went back together. DianDian, her parents, her younger sister. They went to the Airbnb. Guided by Xiao's dreams, he found the unfinished painting hidden in the back of a closet. They set up an easel. DianDian picked up a brush. And for hours, he finished that sunrise exactly how Xiao had imagined it, golden light over the mountains, warm, hopeful, peaceful. Then they held a small, quiet ceremony. No crowds. No drama. Just love. Her parents held the painting. Her sister stood beside them. DianDian stood with them. They spoke her name softly. They told her, "We forgive you. We never blamed you. Please let go. Be at peace." The wind blew gently. Candles flickered. The air felt lighter. Like a weight that had been stuck for 10 years was finally lifted. In that moment, they all felt it. Guided by Xiao's dreams, he found the unfinished painting hidden in the back of a closet. They set up an easel. DianDian picked up a brush. And for hours, he finished that sunrise exactly how Xiao had imagined it, golden light over the mountains, warm, hopeful, peaceful. Then they held a small, quiet ceremony. No crowds. No drama. Just love. Her parents held the painting. Her sister stood beside them. DianDian stood with them. They spoke her name softly. They told her, "We forgive you. We never blamed you. Please let go. Be at peace." The wind blew gently. Candles flickered. The air felt lighter. Like a weight that had been stuck for 10 years was finally lifted. In that moment, they all felt it. She was gone. But she was okay. After that day, nothing. No more dreams. No more crying. No more visits. No more handprints. No more fear. Xiao was finally home. DianDian told me, "I used to think ghosts were fake as hell. I used to make fun of people who believed in them. Now I understand. Some things don't need science. They don't need proof. They just need to be seen. They just need to be heard. They just need love. The spirits that linger? They're not monsters. They're not here to scare you. They're just goodbyes that were never said. Regrets that were never healed. Love that was never finished." So here's my warning to you. If you ever book a remote, sketchy Airbnb in the middle of nowhere, and you hear crying outside your window in the middle of the night, do not look. Do not investigate. Do not open the window. Just lock the door, turn on all the lights, and if you really want to be safe, sleep in your car. Trust me. You don't want to end up in a story like this.